infection. Xeljanz XR, a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe RA for whom methotrexate did not work well. Xeljanz XR can reduce pain, swelling, and further joint damage even without methotrexate. Xeljanz XR can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, and other cancers have happened. Don't start Xeljanz XR if you have an infection. Tears in the stomach or intestines, low blood cell counts, and higher liver tests and cholesterol levels have happened. Your doctor should perform blood tests before you start and while taking Xeljanz XR and monitor certain liver tests. Tell your doctor if you are in a region where fungal infections are common and if you have had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Needles, a must for vinyl. But for you, one pill a day may provide symptom relief. Ask your doctor about Xeljanz XR, an injection.
Dancing is back. Dancing premieres live ABC Monday, September 18th.
Did you know that most window issues are the direct result of improper installation? At Window Nation, every installation begins with our team of expert installers.
Each team is led by a certified master installer. Out of 80,000 windows installed last year, 99.5% required no follow-up service.
Proper installation is what makes the window. Expert installation, it's what defines our Window Nation team.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit, plus 0% interest until 2019.
It's the Ray Moore & Flanigan Anniversary Sale, honoring over 6 decades in business. Everything is on sale. Save 25% on this contemporary sofa, 22% on this beautiful 4-piece queen platform bedroom set. Queen mattress sets start at just $3.99 with no interest for 72 months. Join our VIP club for a chance to win a tour of Italy giveaway. It's our 64th anniversary sale. Save and win at Ray Moore & Flanigan.
Welcome back to our coverage of Hurricane Irma, and you're looking at a very perilous situation in Miami right there. That is a crane that has seemingly snapped in the winds. That is a big concern. Miami-Dade police right now are unable to respond to any callers, and the situation in Miami seems to be deteriorating. The winds right now, 80 miles per hour. They're said to intensify to 100 miles per hour, so you can imagine the concern surrounding all of those cranes on all the skyscrapers. But joining us from Miami right now, Danny Kaplan in Miami, who decided to ride out the storm with his kids as well as his girlfriend and her children. And Danny, good morning to you. We understand that you were not able to get flights out of Florida, but you're there. There are 4 children, correct? You're there with your girlfriend as well. How are the families, how are the kids doing right now?
The kids are going a little stir crazy. We, I think, are getting it a lot better than most. We still have power, although we have lost internet, we have lost cable. But for the most part, the kids are doing fine. Everyone's holding up well. The weather is a little scary for the kids. We have our house bunkered up, and every now and then we get these bursts of wind, and some of the anchors holding in the shutters have been coming undone. You can hear them clinking against the house.
That must be an unsettling sound. Are you able to see outside at all? Can you give us a sense of what you're seeing, or at the very least hearing?
Oh yeah, we can see. There's certain parts of the house that are hurricane glass that we didn't cover up, and my neighborhood has a lot of plush landscaping, or used to. You see a lot of palm trees bending over. The pond fronds are flying all over the place. Trash cans are flying all over the place. It's extremely windy, and you know, like the basketball net has already come down. The landscape, you know, the whole landscaping is destroyed in the whole neighborhood.
And Danny, when you hear that the worst is yet to come, how do you plan on keeping your family safe? How do you plan on keeping them calm during all of this?
We have in my house a room that is completely buckled down, that is in the safe room. So when it gets bad, we're going to go downstairs and hang out in the safe room. We have plenty of supplies. We're fortunate we have a generator, so when the power goes out, we'll be fine. It's we feel bad for the people that are a little closer to the water. They're going to have all that storm surge, and but fortunately, we're not even in a flood zone.
It's a relief to hear that you've taken you've gone to such great lengths to take these precautions. I'm sure you have family and friends who are worried about you. They may be watching right now. What would you like to tell them?
I'd like everyone to know we're all safe right now. I mean, I know the worst is still to come, but right now everyone's spirits are high, well stocked and we're as prepared as we can be. You know, we were unable to get flights out of town, and the drive, it was too uncertain. A lot of our friends and family went up to Orlando and Tampa. One of my friends actually was in Sarasota for the hurricane, and she just got evacuated and had to move to Orlando. So, like I said, I feel very fortunate. My girlfriend and my friends who are with us are all feeling very fortunate.
Well, Danny, I want to say our thoughts are going out to you, your girlfriend, your 4 children, and all of those that unfortunately couldn't get a flight out, might find themselves stuck as they're waiting for the worst to pass over. Danny, thank you for your time. And we want to say much more of our coverage of Hurricane Irma. It is the big one. It's coming up. Stay with us on this Sunday morning.
Parodontax, the toothpaste that helps prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood when you brush or floss, you may have gum problems and could be on the journey to much worse. Help stop the journey of gum disease. Try Parodontax toothpaste. It's clinically proven to remove plaque, the main cause of bleeding gums, for healthy gums and strong teeth. Leave bleeding gums behind with Parodontax toothpaste.
These 4 lonely walls have changed the way I feel. The way I feel. I'm standing still.
Gabrielle, Chanel, the new fragrance.
At Macy's.
From the farming minds at Ocean Spray, an epic flavor. It's cranberry, it's pineapple, and there's no sugar added. Cranberry pineapple 100% juice, the next big thing to hit the juice aisle.
These bumps make me want to hide my arms. It's embarrassing.
Gold Bond Rough and Bumpy Skin Therapy. Used daily, it exfoliates, smooths, softens, reduces bumps 74%.
My arms are out of hiding.
Gold Bond. Ultimate Lotion, Ultimate Skin.
The bathroom. When things go wrong here, you remember. Quilted Northern is designed to work so well you can forget your bathroom trips. But Sir Froggy can never forget. I used to be a prince, but no princess would kiss me now.
Perfect. Ow! If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me. Oh! If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too.
Feast your eyes on this. There are huge Emmy nominations for Blackish, Anthony, Tracy, Wanda, and Outstanding Comedy. It should be celebrated. Celebrate Emmy-nominated Blackish. Season premiere Tuesday, October 3rd on ABC.
What if there was a paint that had the power to awaken something old, or painfully dated, or something you simply thought was lost forever, because it could form a strong bond regardless of age? If a paint could give any time-worn surface stunning new life, you have to wonder, is it still paint? Regal Select Exterior from Benjamin Moore. Only available at independently owned paint and hardware stores.
With the Xfinity Best Offer of the Year, you just can't miss. You get epic internet and Wi-Fi. X1 with built-in Netflix. And when you add Xfinity Mobile, you get up to 5 lines. Dude, perfect.
Get our best offer of the year on the X1 Triple Play and get free installation. Plus, get X1 DVR free for a year. Go online, call, or visit us today.
Welcome back to our breaking news coverage of Hurricane Irma. Let's go to Naples now. It's along the west coast of Florida. Population in the metro area there around 300,000 people, and it is the city about which many of us are most concerned, vulnerable to flooding, and ABC's Matt Gutman is right there. Matt, what are you seeing and hearing?
Hey, Dan. Well, right now, winds are gusting at about 40 miles an hour. They have been registered here at about 75, but these are just really the first gentle nudges of Hurricane Irma, and I just want to give you a sense of where we are. This is downtown Naples, probably the commercial hub of all of Southwest Florida. Manicured streets, but right now they don't look so manicured. We've seen these palm fronds come in just raining down over the past couple of minutes as this weather has intensified. And for that reason, we're probably not going to be staying in this position for very long. We don't want to be dodging flying coconuts or anything like that. Obviously, it's a ghost town. This area is under a mandatory evacuation. Only about half the town has actually evacuated. And the reason for that, of course, not the wind, not the rain. It is the storm surge. We're about 650 yards down the street from the beach. You obviously can't see it because of all the rain. And at about 3 or 4 feet elevation, which means when that water comes surging up here, and Ginger has mentioned it, the force of that water, it's just going to sweep everything here. I'm going to jog over here to give you a sense of what it's like. Folks are literally battening down the hatches with steel plates here bolted to the walls. That's not going to do anything because it's going to go right through that glass. A very intense situation here. Folks are hunkering down pretty much everywhere. Dan, Paula?
Yeah, that storm surge, such a concern, as you mentioned, Matt, because it's just 3 feet above sea level there in Naples. Thanks for your reporting, Matt. We want to go to Tom Yamas, who's in Fort Myers for us right now. Good morning, Tom.
Paula, good morning to you. We are just starting to feel some of those tropical storm force wind gusts, but it's really just beginning here in Fort Myers. It's going to be the next 8 to 10 hours when things are going to get really ugly here, but the rain has not stopped. The wind has not stopped. Let me show you where we are right now. We're at a marina right near the water in Fort Myers, and you can see that the wind, how it's picking up right now. But still, it's not hurricane force just yet, but we're getting there. Now, that wind and all this rain is going to help push some of this storm surge up. You can see just down here where these boats are, we're seeing some of the puddling action over here. But so far, not too bad. I mean, the water is still, I'd say, maybe 4 to 5 feet from where we're standing right here. And you can see where our photographer is. He's maybe a little 4 feet up from where that is. So we'll see how this holds up. But the storm surge is going to be so massive, no doubt, all of this area here will be flooded. I heard Matt mention coconuts. That actually is a hazard around here. Our producer was walking around here, Big Red, and a coconut fell from maybe, 15 to 20 feet up in the air. Thankfully, it didn't land too close to him, but it's a real hazard, and we're looking up as we're reporting out here. Back to you guys.
All right. Keep your eyes in the sky for those coconuts. Thanks, Tom, for your reporting. And Ginger, this is going to be a long day of waiting.
A long day of waiting, and then a long day while you're in it. And that's the thing. I think people think, oh, it's going to be an hour or two, and then it passes. This is not that type of storm. They take a long time to pass. And so you can have a Category 4 now, and even if it weakens to a 3 by the time it gets up close to Tampa, that is still strong winds that can take off roofs, take down trees, and the damage can be felt all the way east. Look at Orlando at 64 miles per hour tonight, and that hurricane force wind really is felt in that orange, so across the entire peninsula throughout tonight and into early tomorrow.
Thank you, Ginger. Much more coverage of Hurricane Irma coming up after a quick break right here on GMA.
Working hard to lower your LDL bad cholesterol? Not making enough progress? You eat well, take the highest dose statin you can, but still aren't getting where you need to be. Now there's Repatha, a different way to reduce LDL and get on the path to dramatically lower numbers. Repatha works differently than your statin to help clear LDL. Repatha plus the highest dose statin drove down LDL an average of 71% more than a statin alone.
Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha may cause allergic reactions. Signs include redness, severe rash or itching, swollen face, or trouble breathing. The most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
Added to a highest dose statin, Repatha lowered LDL below 70 for up to 90% of people. Ask if Repatha can get you on the path to way lower LDL.
You could be my love, even if the sky is falling down. I know that we'll be safe and sound.
So many Americans struggle with finances. Starting today, State Farm is here to help, giving us all the chance to simply sit down and learn. Visit Let'sStartToday.com or talk to an agent.
We're safe and sound.
allergy sufferers, a word to the wise. If symptoms at night ruin your next day, try new Zysol. It relieves symptoms while you sleep and keeps relieving all day. Because Zysol's as effective at hour 24 as at hour 1. So, be Wisol. Take new Zysol.
Need a fast-absorbing moisturizer? Try Nivea In-Shower Body Lotion. Wash, apply, it absorbs fast for 24-hour moisture. Quickly rinse for smoother skin. Ready to go. Nivea In-Shower Body Lotion. Also available with cocoa butter.
He is an extraordinary young man. He has genius-level skills, and he sees things and analyzes things in ways that we can't even begin to understand.
The Good Doctor premieres September 25th on ABC.
Local rapper Courtney Rose is our projected winner in the race for mayor.
You the mayor. How do you go about not being the mayor? Well, the first step would probably be not running.
The Mayor, series premiere Tuesday, October 3rd on ABC.
It's phenomenal. It's absolutely beautiful.
It feels like another time and another place.
It's amazing to bring my whole family here to where I used to come as a kid. It's just fantastic.
Wow. The lights were spectacular. I loved it. It was awesome.
I didn't expect to see fire.
There's fire in the water.
There was a visceral happiness, joy.
Fios is not cable. We're a 100% fiber optic network. And with the new Fios Gigabit connection, you get our fastest internet ever. With download speeds up to 940 megs, 20 times faster than most people have. Switch to Fios Gigabit connection with TV and phone for $79.99 a month online for the first year. Plus HBO for 1 year and multi-room DVR service for 2 years, all with a 2-year agreement. And switching has never been easier. Get out of your contract with up to a $500 credit to help cover your early termination fee. Go to fiosgigabit.com.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Macy's.
And we want to welcome you back to our special coverage of Hurricane Irma, and we want to check back in with Gio Benitez, who is in Miami. Gio, good morning again.
Paula, good morning. We are getting some of the most intense winds, some of the intense rains right now. There is a rain band moving through, and that band has some of the strongest storms we've seen all morning long. That's going to last for the next hour or so. Here, look at this. We are here in downtown Miami, and you can just see the incredible rain that we're feeling. I want to zoom in down there. Look at these lights. Those are lights attached to that parking garage. You can just see them sort of whipping around, and I expect those to fly off any time now. We are hearing a lot of popping sounds all over around us, and that's a concern because when you're dealing, when you're dealing with these buildings, these glass buildings, you can see some of them break in other storms. So we're waiting to see if that's going to happen. We're already seeing some windows sort of pop open here, but we are really concerned about the potential for any tornadoes in this kind of storm. Dan?
Gio Benitez, who's in Miami, Florida, holding a tether, as you can see, to make sure he is safe there. Gio, thank you very much. And we want to emphasize, as Gio did, this thing is just beginning. He's in Miami, but the brunt of this storm is really going to be felt along the west coast of Florida as this storm moves its way up from the Keys, where it is right now, up the west coast of Florida throughout the day. And we will be covering it every step of the way right here on ABC. Thank you for joining us on GMA, but keep it here on ABC News throughout the day as our coverage of Irma continues.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source. And download the app now and sign up to get Hurricane Irma breaking new alerts wherever you are. After 12 years on death row for murdering his pregnant wife, what don't you know about Scott Peterson?
I've got news for Scott Peterson.
Truth and Lies, Thursday on ABC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Sowers with this AccuWeather update.
Nice and clear out there this morning. We have high pressure kind of skirting across the U.S.-Canadian border. These are the outer edges, believe it or not, of Hurricane Irma as it comes on shore in southwestern Florida. But with high pressure and control today, that means a lot of sunshine for us and comfortable temperatures. Here we go. The exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Mostly sunny today, 74. Sun and clouds tomorrow, 78.
You sound like Brian Taft.
What do you mean?
Your voice.
Me? Brian Taft?
Yeah. You can't hear it?
I like Brian Taft.
Yeah. I like Brian Taft, too.
So how long has this been going on?
What? Sounding like Brian Taft?
Yeah.
Since I first heard him.
That's terrific.
It's lush.
It's clear. It's smooth.
It's deep.
That is so lit.
Word up.
Action News Brian Taft, the voice you know for news.
Are you buying this? No. Doesn't sound like Dad to me.
Hi, delivery from Miller?
That's me.
Sign there, please.
Laser-measured floor liners from WeatherTech provide the ultimate protection from spills and messes. They protect the front, back, and even up the sides of your vehicle. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com and see our entire line of over 100 automotive accessories. WeatherTech, made right in America.
Happens all the time.
From sprains to stitches, sore throats to stomach aches, and pulled muscles to poison ivy. Care is around the corner at Patient First. Walk in to see a doctor from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day of the year. X-rays, lab tests, and prescription drugs are on site, and most major insurance plans are accepted. For routine illnesses and injuries, Patient First is here for you. Patient First, the name fits.
Now in Downingtown, 18 Eastern Pennsylvania and South Jersey area medical centers.
Whether you're a morning person or simply it's not your thing. Maybe you're the type that doesn't take it that seriously. Or you're that person who just makes everyone's morning brighter. There's a McDonald's for every morning.
Enjoy a sausage burrito for $1 or a sausage McGriddle sandwich for $2. Pair it with any size freshly brewed McCafe hot coffee for $1.
As an actor and director, this theater captivated me when I moved here. It gave me a new stage to keep growing professionally and to share a lifelong passion with my neighbors. Now my weekly theater class rehearses and performs plays we all enjoy. This community, its special touches, gets a standing O in my script. I'm Steve, and I'm living more inspired at Shannondale.
What inspires you? Rediscover activities and growth at Shannondale.
Hey, let's play Dare to Compare and see what $11.99 buys at my...
What kind of storm surge we're going to see here. I want to go to Kyung La, who is in Miami Beach. Kyung, for the hours, you and everybody there who has remained in Miami Beach, you've just been battered by the winds and by the rain. How is it now?
It's worsening, Anderson. It is every time we come here and talk about this and try to show you what the conditions are like here, they are getting a bit worse. I want to give you just a look at what the conditions are like out here in Miami Beach. And a little perspective, the area that we're standing at is not as bad as some of the city streets that are literally wind tunnels. The force of the wind is much worse. That area that you're looking at right now, if you go just over the berm, my producer Tristan Smith went over there just to see if the storm surge had come in. It had not, but he was completely beat up by the winds and the sand. It is very dangerous out here. You want to make sure the thing that we're watching for is any sort of flying debris. We've seen at least 3 street signs come down. That type very, very dangerous. But just trying to stand here.
All right, I think we're losing Kyung La out in Miami Beach. Kyung La is out of Miami Beach. Kyung La is out of Miami Beach, by the way, which is out there. You can't so hard, and the clouds have come in so thick. They have had serious issues with the winds.
monitoring those cranes for days now because, as you mentioned, the city officials told us that they did not have enough time to move those cranes. Here in this area where I'm at, if we just tilt our camera, you'll see that there are 2 cranes right behind me. They're swaying in the wind. We've seen them continuously. Now, what we're seeing are wind tunnels. These wind tunnels wrap around buildings and they really gain a lot of strength. And so whenever we see and hear those wind tunnels, and the only way to describe them is this high-pitched screeching sound, that's when we see those cranes sway even more. Of course, a huge concern for everybody living in these high-rises in downtown Miami. Now, city officials advised people that lived in these high-rise buildings to evacuate because of that. Now, our weather team advised us that when a hurricane is a Category 3 or 4, for example, you've got to add a category in order for you to realize how the wind speed is in a lot of these high-rise buildings. Now, the one that's right behind me, these people appear to have heeded the warning. I don't see any patio furniture, which is one of the things that city officials recommended, that they needed to remove everything from their balconies because, of course, during a storm, all of that becomes flying debris, projectiles. So we've seen a few people come out of their balconies. That's what city officials don't recommend for people to do. They're asking people to stay indoors, hunker down. And John, believe it or not, in the last hour, we saw a family speed through here. We didn't get to talk to them because they were driving so fast, but it looked like they were trying to evacuate at this hour. That, of course, what city officials and first responders are not recommending because the conditions are very dangerous at this hour. John?
Yeah, you're better off staying where you are right now. First responders not responding to calls in all of Miami-Dade County. That's a county of more than 2.5 million people. Not safe for them to be out because the wind's consistently higher than 40 miles an hour. That's just here in Miami-Dade. The entire east coast of southern Florida feeling the impact of this storm right now. I want to go up the coast to Brian Todd, who's in West Palm Beach. Brian.
John, very intense wind activity that's kicked up in the last couple of hours here. What we're vulnerable to right now is tornadoes. Our weather team has told us that because we're on the so-called dirty side of the storm, where most of the energy, at least at this hour, is going to be pushing toward us, tornadoes, pop-up tornadoes are going to be a threat all day. We've been under tornado warnings. That means flying debris, trees snapping, wires coming down. We got a word from a city official not long ago that they do have a word of a tree pinching down a wire in town. They're monitoring this closely. Storm surge is also a threat here. We're by the Intercoastal Waterway. Down there you can see the intensity of the storm surge against that walkway there as the waves slap up against it. That's only going to get worse as the hurricane conditions worsen in the next few hours. We're going to try to walk over this way along this railing. Got to hold on to it a little bit because, as you've been reporting, John, that cracking of the crane in Miami, officials here have been worried about that for several days. There are 2 large construction cranes just off my right shoulder. You can see them up there. They've been swaying in the wind a little bit. There are 2 other construction cranes further to my right, to your left, down the block. What's unique here is that these construction cranes are right next to apartment buildings in some cases, and we've talked to residents who've said they are really afraid of these construction cranes coming down on them. Down that way, south on Flagler Street, we talked to a resident where there was a construction crane literally right next to her building, and she said, I am very concerned about this thing coming down on my building. So we're going to be watching these things very closely. Also, John, over here is a construction site with a lot of loose debris flying. As these tornadic conditions start to impact us here in West Palm Beach, we've got to keep a close eye on that. A lot of flying debris. You can see the strain on these palm trees. There are palm fronds down on the ground over there. Those become projectiles in a case like this. So we're monitoring all this really closely, and of course keeping a close eye on those cranes back there. Going to toss it back to Chris Cuomo.
All right, Brian, you're a pro. Be smart, be safe. Let us know what we need to know and when to come back to you. We have a crane over our shoulder here in Naples. So far, so good, but it is something that they keep an eye on. We had the city manager on. There have been gusts here reported in excess of 70 miles an hour. Not a big deal, but we're also hours away from what was supposed to be the bad stuff from Irma. So there's a concern about the consistency of the beating and the duration of the water and what that will mean to an already vulnerable and low-lying area. So let's get to Chad Myers. Chad, you gave me a piece of information. I checked with the city manager. You were right. They are seeing what does look like a wild phenomenon here.
Yes.
The water seems to be receding.
Yes.
And you were right about something else. It does fuel false optimism. People are reporting it as a good thing. The water seems to be leaving, but what is the reality?
The reality is that the water is getting blown out of Naples, getting blown out of Tampa Bay, getting blown out of all of the rivers on the west side of the state because the wind is blowing in that direction into the Gulf of Mexico. The wind blowing into Miami, water's still going up almost 6 feet above low tide right now in Miami and still going up. Here's the new track, brand new track, takes the storm over just about Fort Myers as a landfall, if we'll call it that, skirting the coast, significantly grinding the coast here, Sarasota, Annabelle, all the way down even into Fort Myers, Venice as well. That's the problem. It's not going to lose power because it's still half on water, half on land, and really doing damage to all of those coastal communities here. As the storm goes by, Chris, your wind will shift to this direction, so all the water that went out is going to come crashing back in. Do not go into your canal and pick up something that you lost off your boat 2 weeks ago. You need to stay out of the water. That water will come crashing back in to those canals from Marco Island and the like. I heard you have an interview with someone in Marco. Marco will be underwater. The entire island will be underwater. I know he's on the second or third floor, but so what? The rest of your building is underwater. All of the utilities underwater. All the power is underwater. There's the radar for what we have because Key West is now failed. Probably not that unusual in a hurricane, but Miami is also having problems, not giving out any signals right now. Isn't that interesting with the infrastructure going on here? So we will lose Miami here for a while. They're going to try to take it down and bring it back up. But there is the eye heading into the Everglades. That will push water into the Everglades 10 to 15 feet deep. And that will flood Marco, Cape Coral, and all the here's from Bonita Springs to Marco Island and Naples will see 10 to 15-foot storm surges as the storm goes by. Then it travels up the east coast, the west coast here, pushing water onto the east coast all the way up here. Expect coastal flooding, especially at high tide, all the way from Fort Pierce right through Orlando, especially to the east of there, into Merritt Island and such, and on this side, and also even into, I would say, the Cocoa Beach area. You could see surges of 3 to 4 feet. Look at the wind gusts we're expecting. This is now over the entire storm. We're going to see a wind gust in Key West, 135. So far, we don't have that number yet because there's nothing to measure it. Right now, so far, we saw someone on the ground at 131. Obviously, that's unconfirmed. 128 Naples, 137 Fort Myers, and 127 in Tampa. That's the latest because of the storm on the west side of the state. The east side, Fort Pierce, 87, Miami, 90, and Key Largo, 96. For Miami, it's just getting going. The eye is not as close to you as we'll get. For you, Chris, the eye is still on the way.
Yeah, Chad, if you guys can hear me, we're taking big power hits here at the hotel. I have been hearing what you're saying, and it is an interesting phenomenon here because if we're taking big power hits here at the hotel now, and these trees are starting to sway like this now, and the gusts are what they are now, and we haven't even seen the heavy stuff yet from Irma, it is what you've been teaching me about the last couple of days about the cumulative effect. What's being weakened right now by these medium gusts and what will be therefore sent to failure by the real gusts when they get here. And of course, the flood surge, a big and unique concern here as well. Chad, thank you very much. Thank you for keeping me apprised of the situation on email. It's good to have the information in advance so we can explain to people on the ground what they're seeing and what they're not seeing. All right, let's take a break here while we figure out what's going on with our power situation. Again, we are now officially on the clock with Hurricane Irma. It has begun. She has made landfall. Where is she going? Where will she be? Stay with CNN.
The debris lifts up and it comes at your head, and if you're not wearing something protective, for example, like that, you want to just make sure you're always aware of
I'm not trying to own you. I just wanna know what it feels like to have your body so close. Let me absolve you of the past that controls you. I just wanna know what you look like without a weight on your soul. I know somewhere we could get away. If you wanna find another place, love, disappear and never leave a trace. I'll take you anywhere you want. So let me disarm you. There's an army I'm fighting around your heart. Let me disarm you. 'Cause baby, I just wanna love who you really are. Who you really are. So let me disarm you. There's an army I'm fighting around your heart. Let me disarm you. 'Cause baby, I just wanna love who you really are. Smoking in silence, blazing like sirens. I can bring you out of the darkness into the fiery light. I know somewhere we could get away. If you wanna find another place, love, disappear and never leave a trace. I'll take you anywhere you want. So let me disarm you. There's an army I'm fighting around your heart. Let me disarm you. 'Cause baby, I just wanna love who you really are. Who you really are. So let me disarm you. Let me disarm you. Let me disarm you. So let me disarm you. Let me disarm you. Let me disarm you. I just wanna love who you really
This is Anderson Cooper in Tampa. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Irma. Chris Cuomo is in Naples, Florida for us. John Berman is in Miami. We have correspondents all throughout the region. The story is this storm as it moves up the west and as it moves on the east coast of Florida, and obviously what is going to happen, that is the big question on the west coast here later in the day as those hurricane force winds begin to make landfall on the west coast. A lot of places which as early as 2 days ago didn't really expect to be bearing the brunt of this storm are now going to be doing just that. I want to go to Senator Bill Nelson, who is joining us. Senator Nelson, how concerned are you about cities like Naples, Fort Myers, and Tampa, which hasn't experienced a storm the level of a Cat 3, a direct hit, since 1921?
Very concerned. We talked about this yesterday, Anderson. The phenomenon of this hurricane is that a few days ago it was going to be an East Coast hurricane, and it's now shifted to the West Coast. And indeed, as it comes up that West Coast, the counterclockwise winds are going to drive the water up into the bays and estuaries. So you're in Tampa. that water is going to wall up in Tampa Bay because it has no outlet. The same thing south of you at Charlotte Harbor, just north of Punta Gorda. And Chad Myers was just explaining why the water is receding. It's receding because those counterclockwise winds at the north of the hurricane are moving it westward, but when the hurricane gets further north, then those winds reverse, and that's when the water comes back. And that's going to be a big problem of this storm.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, some people have said